developed a Leadership Institute that was designed to challenge you to actively and intentionally think about leadership and engage in that leadership development. All of you have a handout. The mission of our King and You Pride Leadership Program is at the top. We built this program off of a Pride Statement, which is a value statement written by student athletes. That said, the ideal Northwestern student athlete displays perseverance, responsibility, integrity, dedication, and a commitment to education. All right, so Chris and I worked really hard with some outside individuals and advisors to develop a program that we think is really great for you all as leaders at Northwestern. It is a tiered program, so it is a 4-step program. This is the first step, which is exploring leadership. It is required of all first-year students. It's the only part of this program that is required of all students. And what this first initial step is to challenge you. The goal is to challenge you to start thinking about leadership and to gain that understanding that this is a journey and not just a box that you check. And then to inspire you to start engaging and seeking that leadership development. Now, the second step, so exploring leadership is step 1. Second step is defining leadership. In that phase, coaches select individuals within their team that they believe have great leadership qualities. So it goes from a group of 130 to a group of 50, all right? And what those students do is they, together, participate in 5 sessions through the course of that entire defining leadership year. In defining leadership, what we want to do is really challenge students to think about their own leadership skills. So it's really a focus on self. What are your values? How do they influence your leadership strategies, your leadership theories? What learning strategies do you have? What are your personality characteristics? So every student will do a DISC assessment. So we bring people from across the country to come in and work with those groups. Those students that finish defining go on to mastering leadership, which is that third step. In mastering leadership, what we really want to challenge that group of people to do is to hone their skills that are necessary to be a really effective leader. So as we think about communication, understanding team dynamics, how to navigate conflict, and there are 4 sessions. Again, we bring in people from across the country to come in and work with those students. In that final stage, so those who finish mastering and move on to living leadership, that's that 4th piece. What we really want to do is, so often as students at Northwestern, we get lost in trying to figure out that next step. In that 4th year, in living leadership, we really want to help you live that leadership journey, both while you're here at Northwestern, still trying to accomplish what you're doing athletically, but then also helping you with that next phase. So that is our Leadership Institute, okay? Exploring, defining, mastering, and living leadership, all designed to inspire you to engage in your leadership journey. Tonight, we have a very special guest speaker with us, Professor Sile. I'm going to introduce you a little bit more, tell you a little bit more about him in a second. But what I can tell you, I think this is the 3rd or 4th year that Professor Sile has worked with us doing this specific program. Every single time I've listened to it, I'm challenged to learn something new and to think about leadership a little bit differently. Also, Professor Sile has worked with us to really continue to evaluate and enhance our leadership program. It's something that's constantly growing, right? So as we work to provide you really meaningful experiences, we need individuals like Professor Sile to help us develop those for you, all right? The best way, Professor Sile is a very popular professor on this campus. Some of you, has anybody had Professor Sile yet? There's one. I knew there was one. You saw him
And I
earlier.
say Joel, and I see Johannes there. And
There we go.
is Dominic here
Didn't raise
today,
your
or is he
hand.
different?
I don't know. Incredible professor, an incredibly successful business person. But as I think about how to best introduce you to Professor Sile, I wanted to read you something that he has, a summary on his resume. I have run both large and small companies. I have bought companies and started 2 from scratch. Sometimes I have worked with thousands of people and at other times alone. I have experienced both success and failure. I think for myself, live life on my own terms, and have a passion to help young people find the capacities that lie within them and live lives of meaning. If you make the choice to be present and engage in this conversation, I promise it'll be meaningful for you, but you have to first make that choice. With Professor Sile today is Daniel Stein, a senior computer science major who has accepted a position in cybersecurity, nailed it, cybersecurity, and is a former student of Professor Sile and is also working with him now as a TA. So please put your hands together. Let's welcome Professor Sile and David.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. More like it. Enjoy yourself because you never get to eat in my class. Not allowed. But I guess you guys are hungry. Folks, here's the way I think of today. You are here, you had no choice. True? You're here? I'm here, I had no choice because when you ask me, I always say yes. So we are here for an hour or so. Why don't we make something of that? Something useful, something valuable, something that may just last you a lifetime. Okay? Are you ready for that? Are you willing to forget all your Facebook and tweeting and twatting and whatever else you guys do? Leave that world out there. Let's be here. Let's make use of this time. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you. So with that, by the way, give this young man another round of applause. I just took around him. One of you, and I've seen him grow, and I think all of you have that capacity. This is the topic, but I'm going to do what I do in my class. Everybody on your feet. Everybody on your feet. Right now. Quickly, you might put your foot down. The internet is a great gift to us. We communicate. It's also a great curse. You all have become prisoners of it. You live your lives and not how. And so I start all my classes, right, by breathing for about a minute or two so we can bring ourselves in. So put your hands here. Some of you are better at this than others. What you're going to do is go. Right, close your eyes. Let's keep doing it until I tell you to stop. Please take a seat. How many of you feel stressed out during the day? How many? Those who haven't put their hands, I don't really hear them. Here's what you need to do when you feel stressed out. One conversation. If you have something to say, raise your hand, stand up and speak to me. Otherwise, zip. When you get stressed out, which you young people do, it just makes me cry. Just take a moment or two, go sit in a corner, and take a walk, go near the lake, and just breathe. Just come back to the now, and I promise you will feel better. Just keep trying. The more you do it, the better off you'll be. Okay, so with that, what we want to do today, Daniel and I, is talking about leading others, which actually is easy, and leading yourself, which is somewhat hard. We're going to present to you some ideas, some thoughts, but please understand it's a hypothesis. What's a hypothesis? By the way, my class is interactive, so you better speak up. If I find nobody, Johannes, you better get up and start speaking. And George, I know you two at least here. What's a hypothesis? Yes, sir.
Educated guess?
Just stand up.
No, educated guess.
Educated guess, or even uneducated. It's just my point of view. Okay? So, I obviously think it has some value. I will be talking to you. But please don't take it as a religion or an absolute fact. Because life is about you figuring out what you understand and what you believe. It's not listening to others. It's you have to figure out. Life's your journey. I've read lots of books, run a few companies, done a few things in my life. All of these things are based on that. I want to talk to you about 6 questions today only. These 6. This presentation Maria has will be mailed to you. So, and if you ever have any questions, just drop me a note or call me. You'll find me very responsive. These are the 6 questions I want to take with you. Somebody tell me, what is leadership? What do you think is leadership? Quickly, raise hands. Fast, fast, fast. Come on.
Standing up for what you believe in.
Yeah, you stood up too. Good, thank you. Standing up for what you believe in. What else? How do you define leadership? Yes, sir.
Using your passion for something to inspire passion in others.
So inspiring passion. Speak so everybody can hear you. Good, these 2 have been good. What else? What else does leadership mean to you? All of you are leaders. You know that. You didn't get here by doing nothing. Yes, ma'am.
Getting people to follow you in a certain direction.
Getting people to follow you in a certain direction. Excellent. What else? What does leadership mean to you? If you brush your hair, you have to speak up. Anyway, okay? So tell me what leadership means to you, young lady. Stand up and tell us. How you did this, so you have to make you speak.
Like, yeah, having people follow you, I guess.
That's an original thought.
Yeah.
What else is leadership to you? Hey guys, don't tell me you don't know. I mean, this is like the brightest of the brightest people on earth sitting here. All right. What is leadership to you? Take a guess. What is leadership to you? Yes, sir, back there. Yeah.
Speaking for people who haven't developed their voice.
Speaking for people who haven't developed their voice. Thank you. What else?
Taking the hard right over the easy wrong.
Taking the hard right over the easy wrong. Beautifully said. One more. Yes, miss.
Being able to support people who are around you and allowing them to see their best selves.
Being able to support people. All right. Any theater majors in? Any old athletes? Any theater majors? Who has a really good voice? Cam, do you have a good voice?
I wish.
No? You have a good voice? All right. Speak. Stand up and read this, please. Thank you. Okay, read it, and he's going to read it for us, please.
Many acts heralded as instances of leadership. Acts of oratory manipulation, sheer self-advancement, brute coercion are not such. Much of what commonly passes off as leadership, conspicuous position, or taking without followers or follow-through, posturing on various public stages. Authoritarianism is no more leadership than small boys who continue to strut along after the procession has turned a side street.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What this is saying, please read it again. What you and all of us think of as leadership, all these people on TV, on stage, posturing and pontificating, is not leadership. Sometimes, not sometimes, often you find the truth by figuring out what something is not. It is said that God is found by subtraction. Not that, not that, not that. In Sanskrit they say, neti, neti, neti. This is not leadership. So all of Hollywood and all the stuff you hear about all these people, that is not leadership. That's just little boys strutting along while the band's gone different street. This is the best definition I've found. I'm not an academic. I started teaching 15 years ago for fun. I'm a businessman who just happened to be lucky to be able to do what I want to. And I'm privileged to be allowed to teach here. So I've had to learn this on my own. And when I decided to create this class, I didn't know what leadership meant. I was like you, I came out with 15 different things. But what exactly is leadership? The best definition I've found is this. The only definition of leader is someone who has followers. Some are prophets, others thinkers. But without followers, there can be no leadership. Think about it. People have been dead for thousands of years, and we still read their stuff and follow them. Jesus, Buddha, Socrates, Aristotle, you name it. Followers. Another way to think of it is influence. How do we influence people? This also is one of my favorite definitions. Please get a tattoo, one that comes off, not one that stays. A tattoo, because if you just remember this and nothing else in this today, you will have learned something. An effective leader is not someone who's loved or admired. What do leaders want? Love me, love me, love me. Evita, evita, evita. No. Leadership is not rank, privileges, titles, or money. It is responsibility. You understand that? Leadership is responsibility. You have followers, you must be responsible. That's what leadership is. Next question. If that's what leadership is, again, folks, this is just my hypothesis. What do leaders create? What do leaders bring about as you think about it? You told me what leaders ought to do, but what happens when leadership occurs? What do they create? Back there, sir?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm. What else?
A group driven with a single purpose.
Group driven, single purpose. Beautiful. What else?
An atmosphere where people can better themselves.
Atmosphere where people can better themselves. I don't know what pizza you ate. You ate better pizza than all these other fellows. Because they're just like, all right, somebody in the middle. You, young lady. You, yeah, that's you. She's got you right.
I guess an
Stand up and speak, please.
an environment where people are driven to control.
An environment, a culture
Yeah.
of doing something. You know, folks, there's no wrong answer. Do you understand that? We're learning together. You nudged her. Your turn. Get up. Quickly, guys, I don't have time. We're going to finish at 8 o'clock, so let's go.
As she said, just like a group of people that are passionate about one specific goal.
Passionate, one specific goal. Anything else, guys? What do leaders create? Yes, sir.
An example for other people to follow.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, these are all traits of leadership. They're all accurate. But when I studied this, and I didn't know the answers, you know, right now I'm standing here, looks like I know what I'm doing. It's taken me years to learn this stuff by teaching. The reason you teach, you know why you teach? To learn. That's the only reason to teach. Leaders create change. They do it through all the things you told me. But they create change. Now this creates another problem. Look at all these leaders. This, you all know from YouTube, right? Yeah? Everybody know who this is? Who is that? All right. Everybody know this? Oh, wow. Wow, yeah? So, as you look at this list, they all had followers. All of these people had followers. And, you know, sometimes they were coerced, but there were plenty of voluntary followers of all of these people. So if all of them had followers, then they were all leaders. And we know they created a lot of change. Here's sort of what I took away from all of this stuff. Some leaders lead, others mislead. Leadership, the change is sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Leadership does not come with any guarantee that it'll be for the better. So as you think about in your life, the people you wave your banners for, etc., you need to really think deep and hard. Because there's no guarantee. Because sometimes these people, they change lives, they lift lives, and many times they destroy them. Look at the history of the world. Change came about, Lots of people follow them. You can get people to follow things in any way you want. All you got to show them is, oh, somebody did this to you, therefore you must be angry. It's time for you to now take revenge. And people will go along. And a lot of people just are quiet. So leadership occurs, change happens. Nothing says it will happen for the better. Look at the history of the world. I'm going to respectfully suggest mostly it happens for the worse. Anybody here from Venezuela? I know there's one young man from Sao Paulo. Venezuela was the richest country in South America. I was there maybe 40 years ago. Richest country. Now there's not enough food. They eat animals, cats and dogs. You can have all the manners you want. But that's what leadership does. Change, maybe for the better, possibly for the worse. So when you think about leadership, my class that Daniel is helping me with this year, this is his whole journey. How do we figure out what's good and bad leadership? And more importantly, what I want for my students to figure out, how will they live their life? That's all I'm interested in. I'm not much for words, so I believe this. I want to see action. I want to see reality. I want to see how you actually live your lives versus whatever, well, I don't do Facebook, so I wouldn't know what happens there, but whatever you post. So what do you think are some of the key ingredients of leadership? Yes, sir.
Communication.
Communications. Yes, sir.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Respect.
Respect.
Integrity.
Integrity.
Attitude?
Attitude. This side is not getting better. Oh, thank God. Yes, yes.
Work ethic.
Work ethic.
Self-reflection.
Self-reflection. Self-awareness. Back there, sir.
Guts?
Drive. Yep.
Taking responsibility for your actions.
Taking responsibility for your action. Anybody else? Don't scratch your head, because I think you're going to raise your hand. Yeah.
Empathy?
Empathy.
You have to have character.
Character. What does character mean? Excellent. They don't have to be a character. They have to have character. Yeah. Try it. Give it a try. There's no wrong answer. Don't have an attack on me. We need you.
Character is
Somebody? Somebody help. What's character? Yeah, back there.
It's who you are when no one's watching.
Stand up and say that again.
Character is who you are when no one's watching.
You see that? Character are the things you do when nobody's watching. It's who you are, a true person. Yeah, give her a 5. Good. Got it. Okay. All really good stuff. Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys joining in. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I want to take you through 6 elements. All these things we could spend time on. But I just wanted to go through 6 of them to give you some food for thought. Integrity, which is actually another form of character. You know, sometimes I use it interchangeably. The dictionary has different words. Here's the definition of integrity. Read it for yourself. The first one we all know. But here's the second one. A friend of mine said this in class one day and I thought, oh wow. You know what the word integral means? Integral? It means to be whole. An integral person is somebody who's whole, complete. And when we have lack of integrity, we are no longer whole. So that's 2 definitions I'd like you to consider. Why might integrity be important, do you think? Why do you think integrity is important for a leader? Think about your own lives, people you followed. Where does integrity fit in? Have you had leaders who have integrity? Think about those, teachers, leaders, whatever, versus people who didn't have integrity. Tell me why you think integrity might be desirable for leadership. Yes, sir.
like someone who has a lot of integrity as a whole person can reach out to like people from all different walks of life and not just a certain person. They can identify with more than just one type of person.
So they have ability to see more things, connect with more people. Thank you. Yes, back there, sir.
It gives you confidence in what they believe in.
It gives you confidence that they believe in. The person is truthful. Yes, miss.
A leader with integrity inspires integrity in others.
Ah. You see what they're doing, right? And you start to believe them. Is that correct? And then you have to behave that way. Yes, miss. Did you have your hand up? Back there.
So you can maintain people's...
Put your hand down. Speak loudly. You're in my class. You're supposed to like show something.
So you can maintain people's trust in you and respect for you.
Gain trust and respect. Do you see that? Have you had leaders who you knew you couldn't trust or believe? Have you ever had that in your life? Did you feel like following them? You may not have had a choice, but did you feel like following them? Did you want to sing banners and say, let's march? Anything else, guys? This is excellent. Read this for yourself, please. I want to say two things more for you, just for your attention. I am really saddened. I've lived in the United States 47 years. I came here when I was 22 years old. I think we are making excuses like crazy nowadays. For ourselves and for others. That's not integrity. This is what you were saying. You want to lead others, you better do it yourself before you tell others what to do. You want others to be on time, you better be on time. You want others to hit the gym and do something, you better be there. You want excellent work, you better produce excellent work yourself. That's why you need integrity. Leadership needs a vision. How do you define a vision? What do you think? What's a vision to you? Yes, miss?
A goal.
A goal? Good. What else?
A plan.
A plan? Yeah, this is okay, but vision, I think, has more energy to it. What might it be? Yes?
A dream.
A dream! What else?
Something that motivates you.
Something that motivates you. Yes. Yes. Anything else? This is how I define it. A long-term declaration. It's not like, tonight we will get pizza. That's not much of a vision. That's the plan. Something worth achieving. Bathed in enthusiasm. That's how you motivate people. 7 years ago. That is a vision. By the way, I want to tell you a fun story about the Gettysburg Address. Lincoln was really nervous that the speech would be nothing. The fellow who introduced Lincoln, the speech, took 1 hour to introduce Lincoln. Lincoln's speech, 274 words. It was 2 minutes. The cameraman was not even ready to take the photograph. There he is. That's a real shot of Lincoln. But that dream, that vision, here we are. I have a dream. That is a vision. Let me tell you another fun story. Walt Disney, he died before Orlando opened up. He died before that. And so when they were inaugurating Disney World, the Master of Ceremony was going on, and then he introduced Mrs. Disney and said, "Oh, I just wish Walt could have been here to see this." She got up and said, "He did," and sat down. Walt Disney knew exactly how Orlando was going to be. He didn't need to be there, because he'd already seen this. That's a vision. Where people will do things. Now, same visions, these visions can lead people to killing each other. Same visions. So, Here's the thing you have to understand, my friends, is that we are given many things in life. A piece of dynamite is used to excavate the foundation for a building. I'm sure they're using dynamite back here. It's also used to blow up airplanes. The dynamite is indifferent. Love can be used to free people. Love can be used to enslave people. Love's indifferent. What you have to figure out in your lives is how will you use these gifts you've been given, for good or for bad. Every gift you have, that's what I tell my students, every gift you have, and you have plenty of gifts, you understand that you're not the 1%ers. You are the 100th of the 1%ers. Don't you ever whine and complain about anything. I really mean that. Anytime you feel sorry for yourself, just write down all the things you have. How many people could get into Northwestern? How many people? One of my students once told me, Prof, I'm not very smart, don't expect too much from me. So I asked her, how dumb are you? Let's go through the experiment. She was like, what? And we concluded that she was like the dumbest person ever at Northwestern. She'd be in the top 99% of the world. If she's a little smarter, she might be in the 99.9%. What I'm saying to you is that even as you look at each other, you make comparisons and you worry. Wrong comparisons. There are 7.5 billion people out there. And they don't have no ways to be here. And you are here. My question to you is, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with the gifts you've been given? Will you fritter them away? Or will you do something with them? I think you need a break from me.
Hi guys, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the parts of Prof's presentation that spoke a little bit more to me. First of all, priorities. I'm going to do the whole back and forth. I appreciate you guys answering Prof. Why do you guys think priorities are important for a leader? Anybody? Priorities important? Yes?
If you don't have priorities in that meeting, like you have nowhere to go.
Okay, you need priorities to obtain a goal? Yeah.
Keeps you on task.
Keeps you on task, yeah. Anybody else? In the back, yes.
Time, mental management.
Absolutely. Keeping your things in order. We all have a lot of things to do. The reason most major goals aren't achieved is that we spend our time doing the second things first. Has anybody ever made a list of things that you have to do and you rank them by their priorities, and then you just do the quickest ones first? Like you leave like the big homework assignment off to the end, and then you have like an hour left to do it. Anybody else have that? I had that a lot. So
Ask for a show of hands, Daniel.
show of hands. Anybody? Cool.
How many people have been late on things? Come on, Daniel, you're supposed to do this stuff. Let's go.
How many of you guys have heard of the 80-20 rule? Yeah?
Oh, wow.
Pareto principle, law of vital few. What's the 80-20 rule? Someone that raised their hand over here.